Welcome, you guys. Today is not Tuesday. Now, I normally go live on Tuesdays, but I am aware that today is Wednesday. Okay, today is Wednesday. Yesterday, listen, my afternoons have been ridiculously busy lately. So we're probably gonna have to switch to Monday. Like, we're gonna have to switch our daily time to Monday for me to be consistent. So hello, you guys. I love y'all. I looked at my calendar, and the last time I went live, I think, was the 31st of October. So please excuse my tardiness. Well, I only missed 1 week. That's better, right? Only missed 1 week. It's not that bad. Hello, Gregory. How are you? Y'all can't hear me? Hold on. I don't know why. Let me see. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay, let me discontinue it and come back in. Oh wait, some people say they can hear me. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the people who say they can hear me. Awesome. Okay, if this is your first time with me, welcome. I normally go live once a week. I try to go live for a while. I mean, it was every Tuesday, like clockwork, at 8 p.m. And then my life changed. And so now I have to adjust to all the changes. So we may move it to Monday. But until then, we'll figure it out, right? So if this is your first time with me, this is a live Q&A, right? So the people who join me know that we just have like a really big group session, okay? People come in to ask me questions, and it could be a question about life, about love, about your career, purpose, your relationship with God. We talk about everything here. We talk about sex. We talk about kids. We talk about parents, okay? So don't be afraid to ask me any question, okay? There are no questions that are off limits. I always say, though, there's only one caveat. We come here and we ask hard questions to get honest answers. Hard questions to get honest answers, okay? So that means sometimes the answers are hard to hear. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm gonna say sometimes, and sometimes I have to say something that I'm like, dang, that hurt me, okay? But we're coming here to be honest with ourselves. We're coming here to have some transparent conversations. My tribe, who's been with me since day one, they're used to that pattern with me. I don't know if there's something wrong with the thing, because I hear people saying it's fine, and then I see other people saying it's not fine with the volume. This is a new phone, okay? So this is my first time going live with this phone, so maybe there's something with the phone, but just let me know. Some people say it's fine, some people say it's not. Okay, I'm gonna go with my sound is fine. Awesome. Okay, so announcements. TDF is my online morning group, okay? If my TDF family is in the chat, please sound off for me. I see you, Miss Mary. I see you, Greg. TDF is the Daily Fix. It's the group that meets with me every morning. I go live and I talk with them about different topics. If you join the Daily Fix, you get access to all of my content since January. So I promise you, I don't care what you're working on right now. There is something in the Daily Fix that you could use, whether it's relationships, communication, self-identity, confidence, dealing with your own sense of purpose and vision, men's mental health. All of that is in the Daily Fix, okay? So if you haven't joined, go to thedailyfix.co and you get a free 7-day trial so you can check us out. And if you can't, thank you, Miss Mary. I love my tribe, okay? If you can't join live, you can always watch the replays. And then we do after dark sessions. So for the people who work during the day and they want an afternoon session, we also do Thursday afternoon sessions as well, okay? And then Friday, my tribe meets with me and they have their own personal Q&A with me where we talk about their individual issues. So it's a great program, okay? Most of our members stay. Like, we don't have a huge turnover. People join and they stay a part of the community, and we are worldwide, okay? Makes me happy. So go to thedailyfix.co and register. Get your free 7-day trial. Check us out. And then stay, because we're going to be your family, okay? And then we have the Daily Fix anniversary. All right. So if you're new to my tribe, you probably don't know that my favorite holiday is New Year's. So I always try to do something special for New Year's. And so this year, we're going to kick off the beginning of the year with our Daily Fix anniversary, because it'll be our 1-year anniversary. But we are having a gala. Okay. So if you have not heard me speak in person and you want to come hear me speak and you want to meet me, that's where you want to be, January 13th. I will post the flyer right after I go live, because I was supposed to post it before I go live. Okay. Yes. Miss Mary, can you put the link to the Daily Fix in the chat for me? TDF is the Daily Fix. Yes, you can always go to BrittaineyNoel.com to find it. But yeah, BrittaineyNoel.com has everything. Okay, the Daily Fix, the gala, all of that. But January 13th, if you are in Houston, you want to come hang out with me. Okay, it's gonna and I will be unveiling to everyone in my community why I have coined 2024 the year of ascension. 2024 is the year of ascension. Okay, so you want to be there. We are in Houston, and our members are flying in from all over, because our members are everywhere. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. All right, I think that's all of my announcements. Yeah, that's all of my announcements for right now. Watch my stories in the next 24 hours, because that's where you'll see all of the links. But you can go to BrittaineyNoel.com, you can go to thedailyfix.co, and you can get registered and get your 7-day trial. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. But yes, Miss Marie, 2024 is a year of ascension. Okay. And I can't wait. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be good. And we have some good speakers other than myself who will be there. Awesome. Okay. So this is our Q&A. I'm going to kick off our Q&A with the first question that I see. You can put your question either down in the comment box below. If you want to send it to me anonymously, then hit the little bubble with the question mark in it, and it'll come to me without people seeing your question. Yes, I look forward to meeting you too. January 13th. I'm so excited. Okay. All right. So the first question I see. Yeah, they came in real quick. Hold on. How do you heal when you have an anxious attachment style? Very good question. I cover that question in depth in the Daily Fix. This is why y'all need to join the Daily Fix, because I speak specifically about what attachment styles are, how you form your attachment, and then what to do once you know what your attachment is. How do you deal with it? Because your attachment style isn't something that you will ever outgrow. It will always be a part of you. It's how your body learned to regulate itself as it relates to other people. So the goal is never to say, I want to get rid of my attachment style, because getting rid of my attachment style is like saying, I don't want to be black anymore. It's a part of who I am. It's how my brain is wired. It's how I think. It's how I react. However, even though I may have what we call an unhealthy attachment style, which is either an anxious attachment or an avoidant attachment or a disorganized attachment, those attachment styles are unhealthy because they make it difficult for you to maintain relationships, period. It shows up mostly in romantic relationships, but it shows up with your parents. It shows up with your friends. It shows up at work, how you deal with people, how you respond to people. So the goal is to move from an unhealthy attachment style to a healthy attachment. That means that when my unhealthy attachment style is triggered, I choose to respond in a way that is healthy or secure. That's the secure attachment style. That takes work. If you have an anxious attachment, it's going to be a lot of emotional regulation. It's going to be a lot of reassurance. It's going to be a lot of mental checks, because with an anxious attachment style, you are very good at convincing yourself that people want to abandon you. You are very good at convincing yourself that people can't be trusted and that I have to check up. And so the minute that your relationship shows you any type of uncertainty, your attachment style is triggered and you go into what we call protest behaviors. Protest behaviors are the things that you do to try to accomplish your overall goal of what you want, which is closeness. The issue with protest behaviors is that instead of pulling people in, protest behaviors normally push people away. So you push people away because now all of a sudden you're calling too much, you're reaching out too much, you're becoming accusatory instead of having a conversation. Your emotional reactivity is high. So people are hearing your emotions, they're hearing that you're angry, they're hearing all of this reaction, but they don't actually hear your request. And people with an anxious attachment normally are not good at saying what they need to say. They're good at voicing how they feel, their emotion, but they don't actually say, hey, this is what I need from you in order to feel safe in this relationship. So in order for you to heal that attachment style, what you're really learning is how to identify when I'm triggered, identify my protest behaviors, and learn how to replace my protest behaviors with behaviors that actually build in my relationship and promote closeness instead of pushing people away. That's what healing attachment style looks like. But you have to know for yourself, what is my attachment style, so that you know how you're getting in your own way. Because for most people, if you're walking around in this world and you don't know your attachment style, you are sabotaging connections and it feels normal. The way you react, the way you respond, the way that you think feels normal because your attachment style has been with you since childhood. So this is why you have to do the self-work to identify, where am I reading and perceiving things in a certain way that is triggering my attachment style. Okay? Very good question. All right. Let me go to my anonymous questions. How did you come up with the year of ascension? I will tell everyone that the night that I actually talk about it at the event. I will tell everyone why 2024 is the year of ascension. If you've been with me for a while, right? My OGs know that there's a theme for every year. Every year of my life, there's a theme. And my life normally follows whatever that theme is. And sometimes I know the theme ahead of time, which is now. And there's times where earlier in my growth process, I didn't know the theme until after I had went through the year and I realized what it was, right? So if you've heard my radical transparency talk, I had my year of transparency, right? That was 2018. I've had a year of transformation, right? 2024 is the year of ascension, all right? And we're going to talk about that. Okay, all right, next question. How do you handle a new relationship where my partner can't set boundaries with her ex? She brings her and picks her up from work daily, and she expects me to be okay with it because that's how she is. Okay, so the issue here is not that your ex can't set boundaries. The issue is actually you can't set boundaries. Because when you come into someone's life, if I'm partnering with this individual and I have dated them and I have courted them, I have had time to recognize the relationships that they have in their life. So before you guys came into a committed relationship, at some point you should have observed. You should have observed the fact that this relationship was in the state that it was in, right? The whole point of dating is to collect data so that I can make a conscious decision. Is this someone that I can see myself with? If I'm courting you and I see that the person that I'm partnering with does not have healthy boundaries with their exes or with their friends or with their family for that matter, it's not even on me to say, hey, you should probably change that. Because guess what? Those patterns were in place before I ever showed up. It is not my job to come into your life and change you. It is my job to come into your life, look around, see where your furniture is, see how your decor is, and then I get to decide, is this a place where I would like to be? Do I want to be in connection with someone who has this type of relationship with their exes? At some point, if you're in a relationship with this person, you consented to the state of that relationship. When you said, yes, we will be exclusive, yes, we'll be in a relationship, you consented to being with someone who had unhealthy boundaries with their ex. So it's not that they have boundary issues, you have boundary issues because you for yourself didn't identify that that is a red flag for me. And what we do, we go into relationships, we see all the red flags, we consent to being in a relationship, and then we say, okay, now I need you to change this. Now I need you to be somebody different. Now I need you to act different, think different, be different. But they were none of those things before y'all got in the relationship. So you set yourself up for disappointment by now requesting that she change the way that she's been operating when you didn't require the change before you committed. You didn't require the change. You consented to the relationship as those boundaries were. So it's not her that has unhealthy boundaries. You have unhealthy boundaries. And you probably have a hard time bringing up to someone when they are crossing a boundary, or when they're making you uncomfortable, or when you see something that is unacceptable, right? You're going to have to learn, how do I voice, and this is another anxious attachment behavior. How do I voice when I'm unhappy with someone, even though I'm afraid that if I tell them how I feel, I may lose them? That's the work. Most people don't bring up the red flags that they see because they're afraid that, well, if I tell them that I don't like this, or if I tell them that that's not something I agree with, if I bring it up, then they may not want to be with me. And so out of fear that you may not get the person, you then allow all of those red flags and all of those indicators to just fly by, and you just turn your head the other way. And now that we're committed, now you want to say, you know what? I don't like the way that y'all have a relationship. Well, that relationship was there before. Okay? So now you have to make a decision for yourself. With the state of this relationship, because I say it all the time, it's unfair for me to come into somebody's life, how they've been living, and say, you know what? I need you to change and be something different in order to accommodate me. I don't believe in that. I believe I get to come in your life. I get to experience how you love me. I get to experience how you care for me. I get to experience how you talk to me. I get to experience how you show up for me or don't show up for me. I get to experience all of that. And then Brittainy gets to decide, is this someone that you would like to give the keys to your home? Because you have to realize, when we're allowing people into our lives, it's literally you giving somebody the key to your home. I'm giving you the key to my mental space, my emotional space, my physical space. I'm inviting you into something that's sacred. Is this someone that I can truly give that key to? Okay, listen. I'm protective over my keys, okay? Me and my best friend laughed the other day because I don't know why. Okay, I do know why I'm like this. But physically, when I moved apartments, zero people knew where I lived for a year. Zero, even my best friend. Because whenever we go out, we always meet up somewhere. So when I moved, she was like, well, I'm going to come park my car at your house. That was the first time that she found out where I lived. And she was like, you do know that it's been like a year. Because I'm like, it's a part of being very intentional about who I allow in my life. Right? Who I allow into my personal space, who I allow into the world of Brittainy. So if I'm consenting to giving you a key to my home, I want to make sure that I'm clear on who you are. I want to make sure that you're not going to come in here and rob me. I want to make sure that when you come in, you're bringing something. Every time I go to a housewarming, I bring a gift. Every time I go to somebody's house or somebody's event, I bring something with me. Because when you enter people's lives, period, point blank, man and woman, when you enter someone's life, you should come bearing gifts, because there are gifts to being with you. There are benefits to being with you. So when I show up in someone's life, I'm bringing something with me. When they showed up in your life, what did they bring? What did they bring? Now, this is someone who is a recovering giver, okay? I am a perpetual giver. I love giving. I love nurturing. I love looking after people. And so in my maturing, I have to learn, Brittainy, that giving is fine, but I need you to make sure that you're paying attention to the people who give to you. Who are the people who look out for you? Who are the people who say, is there something that I can lay at your feet? You're so good at giving to other people, but pay attention to who's showing up at your door with something in their hands. So I said all that to say, because at this point I have forgotten the question. You need to make a decision, right? With things are as they are. Is this a relationship that I want to continue under this state? Because in order for her to change, she has to be motivated within herself to change that behavior. And if she doesn't have a true motivation, what'll happen is she'll cut off conversations with the ex, and then she's going to blame you for it. and call you controlling and say you don't support her, or you have to have things a certain way. Because it wasn't her decision to cut off that relationship, she's going to blame you for it. And that's where resentment comes from. All right? Okay. So make a decision. Make a new decision. All right? Make a new decision. Okay. What's the next question? My zodiac sign. I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo. Let me go to my anonymous questions. Hold on. Why does it seem like men just want sex in a relationship? Because the honest answer is that they do, right? The honest answer is that they do. The same way women want security. Men want sex, women want security. What women have to make sure is that you're not exchanging sex for security, because it won't happen. Security is something that I get from a man who has chosen to give me security, who has chosen to give me safety, who has chosen to give me protection. And along the lines, because even in my life, the messages that I received around sex and relationships weren't healthy, but it was very much along the lines that women were supposed to bargain our bodies to get what it is that we wanted. And that's just the honest truth, okay? I was raised by some Amazons, single mothers, but if a bill was short, they knew what needed to happen to get it done. And that was the message that they gave me. I remember I said it in a podcast interview, right? I was in high school going through a breakup, and I'm crying. I'm like 16, crying. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he doesn't want to be with me anymore. And I'm in the car with my aunt. And my aunt was like, now I'm 16, okay? My aunt said, and I'll never forget this, because luckily I've had wisdom my entire life. I was 12 years old telling my mama not to date certain people, okay? That's just how I've been. But my aunt said, girl, what you crying about that boy for? The best way to get over a man is to get under a new one. And I remember thinking, that's stupid. I remember being like, that don't even make sense. Why would I leave? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. But that's the life she lived. That's the life that people before her lived. At some point, those were the messages that was given, right? And so she genuinely thought, I'm helping my niece, right? But the truth is that as it's not even about it being right or wrong. It's a matter of fact. It's factual evidence that men want sex because they are attracted to women's bodies, right? You knowing that, you have to know that my greatest commodity, my highest value is in the thing that this man wants from me. So I cannot exchange the thing that he wants from me for money, for attention, for temporary attention, for temporary satisfaction. That if I'm going to give you the thing that you want, then I need to make sure that I'm actually getting what I want. And what most women want is not a sexual encounter. What most women want is the commitment. They want the love. They want the admiration. They want something real. So if I'm not getting that from you, then why do you get to get what you want? If you can't give me what I truly want, because you will lay down, have the whole sexual experience, whether it was good or not, I hope you got, the climax from it. But at the end of the day, did you actually get what you needed? Or do you walk out of that interaction feeling more depleted? Do you walk out of that interaction feeling less than who you are? Do you walk out, and most women walk out of those interactions feeling cheated. Most women walk out of those interactions feeling cheated because he got what he wanted and you never got what you wanted. And so you have to be clear about what it is that you want from this interaction. And if you want sex, cool, but this is the threshold for sex. Threshold for sex is commitment. Threshold for sex is a relationship. Threshold for sex is X, Y, and Z. And if you are willing to meet that criteria, cool. If not, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. There are other women who have different criteria for what you want. You may want to try those, right? So it's not about being upset or discouraged, because that's just the nature of the game. Men are sexual beings, cool, fine. But just make sure that they're in a place where they are willing to give you the thing that you want in exchange, so that you don't walk out of it feeling cheated. Okay, next question. There are so many questions. Okay. There are so many questions. Okay, how do you know when you're in a safe place to share personal triggers about yourself, especially in relationships in general? You only share personal triggers with yourself with somebody else when they have demonstrated that this is somebody that I can actually trust, right? Like, you're not jumping in date 1, date 2, date 3 talking about especially your triggers, because my triggers, most times I'm telling you the things that get under my skin. I'm telling you the things that hurt me. And if you're not a safe person, you absolutely could use that against me, right? So there's two answers that I have for this, because number one, if you're early on in your process, you are going to be more vulnerable, and you have to be more guarded about what you share, how you share, and who you share it with, because it's like healing. If I just had surgery, I can't just be up and moving around, and certain people can't have access to me. I have to go through rehab. I got to go through, post-op. You're in a very vulnerable place if you're still healing. So how much you share about where you are in your process will be very limited unless this is someone who has demonstrated safety, right? That means that most times you're going to be talking to your therapist, okay? You're going to be talking to your closest friends, family, whoever the people are that has demonstrated safety for you. If I'm in a dating atmosphere and you're in that vulnerable place, I wouldn't necessarily go through triggers. I would mostly talk about reassurance, right? I would mostly talk about things that demonstrate reassurance. And then you pay attention to their patterns. Because I always say you reveal yourself to people in layers, right? You give them a little bit of who you are, and then you sit back and you wait and you watch and see what they do with it. Are they careful with you? Do they call you? Real honest to God. Now, y'all done heard me say I'm very, very. There was a guy that I was courting. And we had been courting for a few weeks. I got really sick. So he hadn't heard from me, maybe in a few days. By the time he texted me, he was like, I haven't heard from you. What's going on? I was like, I'm sorry. I was out of it. I was, medicated. I was really, really sick. And so, I just haven't been talking to anybody. I've been, out of it. Oh, okay. So we got caught up, and then I didn't hear from him. Like a few days. I heard from him maybe like the next week. And so by the time he calls me the next week, it's big friendship energy. big friend zone energy. And he was like, this is different. It is. Because I shared to you, I'm sick, I'm vulnerable, I'm not feeling well. And you didn't even call to check on me. You didn't text to see if I needed a cough drop. My well-being was nowhere on your radar, which is fine, because I don't have to be one of your priorities. But I also know that in order for someone to be in my personal space, I got to know that you care about my well-being. I got to know that me being sick or me not being at my best matters to you. Why? Because I'm the person, if you tell me that if you tell me you got a hangnail, you need some clippers? I found a YouTube video about the best way to get rid of the hangnail. I'm going to look after you. I'm going to care for you. That's what I do with my friendships. That's what I do with my family. That's just who I am, right? I've learned to require that same thing from the people who are in my space. So you give pieces of your life, of your reality to people, and then you watch and see what they do with it. Are they careful with you? Do they look after you? Do they ask you, do you need anything? How can I help? How can I assist? Hey, how can I show up for you? Right? How you handle the little piece of vulnerability that I give you is going to determine if I give you more vulnerability. If I give you vulnerability and you make jokes about it, you're nonchalant about it, you gloss over it, you don't validate it, then maybe this ain't someone that I can give more to. And that's the reality. There's a lot of people that you just can't go to a certain level of depth with, and that's okay. So for you to protect yourself, you start off giving little pieces and you watch and see what they do with it. Over time, once you have grown in your sense of self, once you have healed, once you have really gotten a true foundation of who you are, you get to a place where I am, where I say I have nothing, it's a Lisa Nichols saying, I have nothing to prove, nothing to hide, nothing to defend, and nothing to protect. I have nothing to prove, nothing to hide, nothing to defend, and nothing to protect. That means I am authentically and unapologetically who I am, like me or leave me. I'm at a place where I can say I'm willing to show you where my weaknesses are, solely for the sole reason for you to say, yes, I opt in or I opt out. I opt in or I opt out, because I'm in a place where you can opt out and I'm not going to fall apart. You can opt out and I'm not going to take it personal. You can opt out and I can say, cool, he wasn't the one, right? When you get to that place, now that place requires work, because you have to be in a place of fully accepting who you are, not just the good parts, not just the pretty parts, the good, the bad, and ugly. When you have that type of relationship with yourself, I'm gonna be cool whether this person stays or goes. Then I can sit down with someone and say, yeah, this is where I am in my process. I can laugh about where I am in my process. I can laugh about my mistakes. I can make jokes about the things that I've gotten wrong, or the relationships that I ended, or whatever it is. My insecurities, while they may still, ting it sometimes, I can say, hey, this is what it is. That way that person can make an informed decision. Is this what you want? Because if so, I'm cool, I'm down, let's do it. But if not, I'm cool, I'm down. I'm gonna be okay, I promise you. Right? But that takes growth and that takes time. So if you're in that vulnerable place, continue to pour into yourself, continue to work on you, continue to build that sense of self, and you will eventually get to a place where vulnerability is no longer scary to me, right? You can share something with someone because I can share this with this person because it's not like I'm attached to them. Nothing that their opinion of me doesn't hurt me. Their opinion of me ain't gonna set me back. It's okay. It's really okay. All right. Okay. How y'all feeling? Has this been helpful so far? Okay. Okay. All right. Listen. Okay. I'm gonna do the question. And then I see another one. Okay. Any advice on still talking to someone every day that broke your heart and had a baby on you, but he still wants to be friends? It hurt. I still love him. Okay. So you're talking to him every day, which means that you are giving him access to him. As long as, I'm assuming you guys are in a separated state. I'm assuming. I don't think you said that. But you're still talking to him every day. I cannot heal, number one, if I'm going to leave this person, I cannot heal in the same place that I was hurt. So it's unrealistic for you to think that you're going to be able to begin your healing journey if this person still has access to you. Because every time he calls, you get reset. Every time you see his name on your phone, you get reset. Your mind, your energy, everything goes back to who you were before, right? So that's number one. Two, when most people, men and women, say, can we still be friends? Most times that is their way of making sure that you don't close the door on them completely. They're waiting on you to become numb to how you feel. They're waiting on you to forget how you feel. They're waiting for you to get to a place where you can say, well, maybe we can try it again, right? So keeping that door open to say, oh, can we just be friends, is his way of having access. Now, keep in mind, Most people want to stay in your life because they benefit from having you in their life. Most people stay in your life because they benefit from having you in their life. They have no desire to commit. They have no desire to take care of you. They have no desire to look after you, but they benefit from having you in their life. Very similar situation. If you guys have watched any of my content or read my book, then you know I was in a very similar situation when I was in my 20s, and I left. That was a 6-year relationship. I left, and a year after we left, we separated. He's calling, and he's texting, and I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, because I've already regulated my body to not hearing from you. I've already regulated my body to not seeing your name on my caller ID. I need to not have that trigger. So he's calling, and I'm like, hey, why are you calling me? Because I'm a Virgo. So when I'm done, I'm done. Okay? And after 6 years of chaos and a baby, I was done. And immediately he says, well, Brittainy, you know, I just want to know if we can just rekindle our friendship, because I'm studying for my exam. He was an architect. I'm studying for my license, and you know, I have these aspirations, and I want to open, you know, my firm and this, that, and the other. And you're the only person who ever spoke life into me. You're the only person who made me feel like I can actually do it, and I miss talking to you about it. I miss sharing this vision with you. You miss the benefits of having me. You miss the benefits of having Brittainy. You miss the benefits of being with someone who's a visionary. You miss the benefits of someone who could speak life into your visions and into your dreams and into who you were as a person. You miss the benefits of having me. You didn't realize that when you lost me, that you were also losing the benefits. So you need to understand that when people are coming back into your life, it's not always because they love you. It's not always that they care for you. It's because they benefited from having you, and they want the benefits back. And so if I can say, well, we're just friends, I can still call you and get what I need from you. I can get that pick me up. I can get that support. I can get someone to share my vision with. I can get all of those benefits without ever giving you anything you needed. I politely told him, I don't want to speak with you. You should call whoever is in your life currently, and they should be able to meet that need for you. I'm not available. I'm not available. I'm not available. My body has healed from that relationship. I'm not available. Right? So you have to realize, and this is where you realize when you start understanding who you are, because mind you, I was in my 20s. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I brought to the table. So when I was doing all this giving, I thought I was just doing what I was supposed to do. I didn't realize those were benefits. I didn't realize that made me an asset. I didn't realize that made me someone of value, of high character. I didn't realize that what I was giving was gold out here. When you learn who you are, you realize, dang, I never put a price tag on what it was that came with me. And this is why you didn't require commitment. I never put a price tag on everything that I came with. And this is why I let you slide and get away with disrespecting me. I didn't realize that I didn't put a price on everything that I was. And this is why I settled for the little bit in the breadcrumbs that you were giving me, because I didn't know my value. I didn't even know that what I was giving you was valuable. So I just gave it away freely. When you don't know the value of a thing, you misuse it. When you don't know the value of a thing, you misuse it. And people will see your value. And because you don't respect your value, they don't have to either. Because you don't respect your value, they don't have to either. And so now they see you as a resource that they can use without ever replenishing the source that they are pulling from. Okay? Okay, so block, delete, right? And change, if you're gonna have him in your phone, change the name of his name in your phone. Not his name. His name should be what he did, right? His name should be makes me feel worthless. His name should be makes me feel unappreciated. His name should be misuses me and manipulates me. That's what you change his name to, so that every time he calls, you're reminded. because the brain has a way of telling us everything was good, everything was wonderful. Oh, I just loved him so much, and we were really friends. We used to say that all the time because he and I, we were close, and we would always say, oh, we're best friends. And when I finally started waking the hell up, it was like my brain finally started working again and was like, do friends lie to friends? Do friends betray friends? Do friends not show up for friends? I'm confused because I don't really think this was ever a friendship. I don't think this was actually ever a friendship. We were never friends. Be careful about the word and the word choice that you use to describe that connection, because when you use certain words, it attaches meaning to the relationship that was never there. You were never friends if you were lying to me. You were never friends if you were hiding stuff from me. We were never friends. So no, we can't be friends now. We never had a friendship. Reads by Brenda. That's one of my best friends, okay? In fact, she was there, okay? She was the one who was finna come bail me out of jail. She was the one who was like, I got bail money on deck, okay? So yes, disconnect. That way you can allow your body to heal. You can allow your mind to heal. That emotional reactivity that you have every time his name comes up, that cannot be settled until you have disconnected. So I encourage you to put distance between the two of you so that you can start your healing process. All right. All right. Okay, I know I've missed a lot of questions. So if you ask me a question, I didn't see it, just put it in the chat down below. Let's see. He says she has been sick for a couple of times, even got COVID. I took her to the hospital and got some symptoms days later, and she never showed up. See? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. How can you block when y'all have a child together? You can't necessarily block, but you can definitely monitor communication, right? You can still change his name in your phone, and find alternative ways to communicate with him. If it's too fresh, you can find alternative ways to communicate it. You can tell him, hey, text message is what's best for me, or email is what's best for me, so that we can make sure. And that's just a tip for if it's a nasty disconnection, limiting communication via text or email. One, so that everything is recorded, and two, that's how you know. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot. But two, texting communication allows me to react and respond, and then I can regulate myself and then give a response when I'm ready. Does that make sense? So phone conversation, normally it's a lot harder because your emotional reactivity is happening in that moment. Healing workbook. Thank you, Miss Mary. I'm gonna post it in my stories as soon as I get off. But I cleaned out my closet and I found 25 workbooks. So I have a workbook called Healing After Heartbreak. And it's a workbook that takes you through exercises to help you recover from a relationship that you just got out of. So it'll help you. Now this workbook ain't for the faint of heart, okay? But if you're really trying to heal from a relationship that you're out of, I have 25 workbooks. DM me and I will send you the link, because I haven't posted it yet. I will send you the link so that you guys can get them, because it's only 25 of them. My TDF people have already DM'd me, the ones who don't have the workbook. So send me a DM and I'll send you a link to order it. And I do have a book. It's called Made for This on Amazon. He said, I just changed your name. Cheated on me when I gave you everything. Listen, I'm telling you. Let's see. Hold on. Let me go back down to the bottom. There's a lot of questions. Okay. Should you leave if you have been in a relationship for 7 years and your mate states he is not ready for marriage? Do you want marriage? Right? If he's not ready for marriage after 7 years and you are ready for marriage, you have to decide for yourself what you want in your life. Ask yourself, if this man never proposes to me, will I be happy? Here's a better question. Ask yourself, why do I want him to propose to me? Why do I want him to propose to me? Because no woman wants a man to feel like he has to propose. Oh, thank you. No woman wants a man who feels like he's obligated to propose. When a man proposes, we want to feel like it came from his heart, right? We want to feel like he did this because he truly loves us. He truly adores us. So if it's been 7 years and he hasn't proposed, my question is not for him. My question is for you. Why has that been acceptable for you? And at this junction, what is it about this relationship that you think marriage is going to fix? So number one, if he never proposes, will I be okay? And can I stay in this relationship if he never proposes? Because that's a real alternative. We can't make people do anything. And if I say no, I want marriage, okay, cool. Ask yourself, why? Why is it him? Is it him just because it's been 7 years? Or is it him because he knows how to take care of your heart? Is it him because he knows how to speak to your needs? Is it him because he knows how to be attentive to what you need? Is it him because he pushes you further into your purpose? Is it him because he loves on you like never before? Is it him because he's actually meeting the needs of who you are as a woman? Or is it him because he's been around for 7 years? Why is it him? That's a hard question for a lot of people. That question in itself will end a lot of relationships because we realize that we stay stuck to people, not because they're meeting our needs, but because they're available. They never loved me the way I really wanted to be loved, but they were here. They were available. So I took 30% of a man. I took 20% of a woman. I took the little bit because they were willing to be here. So the question that you have to ask yourself, if I want marriage from this person, if I want a proposal, get real and honest with yourself about why you want it from him. In relationships, I always say, it's never, your vision for marriage or a relationship is never bad, right? But we have to be okay with knowing that my vision can still be accomplished even if it's not accomplished through this person. I can still get to a marriage even if I let this person go. What happens is as we're going throughout our life, you'll start with, oh, I want to be in a happy, healthy relationship. I want to be with someone who loves me. Okay, cool. And then you got with Ricky. And now your vision changed. It's no longer, I want to be in a happy, healthy marriage. It's, oh, I want to be married to Ricky. Why? Because the vision was for you to be in a happy, healthy marriage. It may not come through Ricky. And we cannot base our visions on what we want in our lives based on the people that are in our lives, because people are disappointing. People do not meet, most times don't meet the standards of our visions. And that's okay. But I have to know, what do I want for myself? For me. So that I can decide, is Ricky even a good fit? Because Michael may be a better fit. James may be a better fit. But the minute that I tell myself it has to be Ricky, now I stick by Ricky, even though Ricky ain't meet none of the criteria. Ricky ain't been doing right since 2016. But because you keep telling yourself it's Ricky, it's Ricky, it's Ricky, you miss the fact it's a healthy marriage. It's a happy marriage. It's a peaceful marriage. That's the vision. Who I get that vision through could be anybody. We don't know. But I do know it ain't Ricky right now. So you have to be honest with yourself about why you want marriage from that individual, and ask yourself, is this person actually meeting my vision for what I want in a marriage and a husband? Okay. All right. What advice do you have for young women in their 20s about love and relationships? The name of my book is Made for This on Amazon. Made for This, and you just put in my name, it'll come up. For women in their 20s, have fun. Learn yourself. Learn yourself. And it's hard to just say learn yourself, because you learn yourself through experiences, right? Look at every experience. Ask yourself, what can I take away from this that's going to help me grow, right? If you dated somebody, even if you went on one date with somebody, you can learn about yourself. I told somebody when I was going through my dating phase where I was dating a lot, it was like I would go on dates, and then you know how at the end of football games they do like replays? I was like, okay, so what did you do well? What do you want to improve on? What do you want to keep doing, right? Because I was able to observe myself while on the date and then say, okay, Brittainy, and this was after that unhealthy relationship. So I was coming into this, I was learning how to date after being hurt, right? And I would be like, okay, Brittainy, well, you went on that date and you didn't talk about yourself at all. You let him talk the entire time. If he asked you a question, you would skillfully turn the question back on him, and you wouldn't talk about yourself at all. Why? Why? Right? And it was in those conversations with myself that I could say, oh, okay, you're hiding. That's why. You didn't want to talk about yourself because you didn't want him to know you. You were blocking him. You were pushing him away. So what's the point of us dating if you're going to push people away? Okay, so on the next date, we're going to talk about ourselves, okay? On the next date, we're going to be honest about who we are, right? So date and have fun, and allow yourself to use these interactions to help you inform yourself about who you are, right? It's not about trying to find this happy ever after love, because there is no formula for finding love. There is no formula for finding the person that's for you. What happens is the more authentic you are in this world, you show up as yourself and you attract people who truly like you. That's when you find somebody who loves you. When you truly like you and you showing up in the world as who you are, somebody else can look at you and say, oh, I like her. Because they actually know you. You're showing yourself to them. And so you don't, in your 20s, women do it all the time. We lie about who we are, and we don't do it purposely. We do it out of fear, out of insecurity, out of feeling like we're not enough, out of feeling like we have something to prove. And so we lie about who we are by accepting things we don't want to accept, by saying, oh yeah, that's okay, when it's really not okay. By saying, oh yeah, we can make it work when we don't want to make it work. But out of this desire to be liked and to please people and to make people want us, we lie. The key to finding the person that's for you is going to be first finding yourself. Who am I? And in your 20s, you're still unraveling, because you got to get out of the ideas of what your parents wanted for you. You have to get out of the ideas of what you thought love was supposed to be, because, you know, Disney sold us a lie. So there's a lot of unlearning that you have to do before you start learning who you are. And in that time frame, allow yourself to have fun, enjoy the dating process, learn limits, learn boundaries, and be vocal about them. Learn limits, learn boundaries, and be vocal. And understand, vocalizing my boundaries ain't gonna make people happy. It ain't gonna make nobody happy, okay? Because when people realize you have limits, they get upset because they can't take from you, right? So it's a process. You're gonna go through experiences. Look at all of the experiences as things I can learn about myself from those experiences, okay? I always feel like when I be talking, I be like, you know what? I can't wait till like I'm an old grandma And, you know, my grandkids or great grandkids come to me for sage wisdom. But I'm not going to give it to them like this. I'm probably going to give it to them with curse words and just, you know, raw and uncut. And just I can't wait. Okay, I'm going to take one last question and I'm going to get up out of here. So somebody put a question down below and I'm going to answer that last question. Yes, 24. Girl, you got so much growing to do. Where do you draw the line on waiting for potential that you see in the man and letting go? When it comes to potential, when we enter people's lives, we should always see fruit for who it is that I believe they can be. So if I say this is a good man, if I say, you know, this is a man who's a leader, if I say, you know, this is a man who has, you know, great potential to love and to care and all these other things, I should see fruit for the things in which I say that I see in him. Meaning, I'm watching his growth unfold. If you think about a seed, if I plant a seed and this seed has the potential to grow into an oak tree, once that seed is planted, over time, I'm going to start seeing it sprout. It's going to pop up out the ground. It's going to be a little wee thing, right? And then it'll get a little fig, and then it'll get a little branch. And over time, I'm watching this thing continue to grow. That's what potential is. That's what potential is. But what we do, sometimes we don't even know if the seed has been planted. We don't even know if the seed has been planted. We're just, I hope the seed has been planted, right? But man, woman, boy, child, if this person truly has potential, you will see the fruit in that, whatever that potential is, right? So if he says, I'm working on, you know, my emotions, I'm working on being more emotional, or I'm working on communicating better, or I'm working on managing my anger better, then I should see fruit. Not that their behavior is going to be perfect or that they're going to get it right all the time, but when if it's 5 times, they got it right 3 out of the 5. They got it right 2 out of the 5. I can see that they're working on changing the behavior. And when they are incorrect and when they mess up, they come back around to repair whatever it is that they messed up, right? That's someone who's showing me I'm trying to grow into this man that I told you I can be. And number one. Because sometimes women will be holding on to men for potential for things that man never even promised to be to you. I mean, he gonna get it together. Once he get it out his system, he never told you he wanted to be faithful to you. I mean, he gonna come around and he never promised that to you. He never consented. And this is where, as women, we create fairy tales of the men we want. We create images of the men we want. And then we take this man and try to hold him accountable for the image I created, rejecting who he actually is. He never consented. This is why communication is so important, right? If I say, and I'm very clear, because the best thing we can do is be on the same page. Okay? The best thing we can do is be on the same page. And so if I identify that I have a need, I will say, hey, look, I know we're working on this. This is where we are in our connection. This is what we're feeling. We want to keep it going. We want to keep it growing. In order for me to keep moving into this space with you, I need X, Y, and Z. I need more communication. I need more quality time. I need more affirmation from you. Whatever it is. I actually voice what it is I need. And then you know what I do? I say, is that something that you want to provide me with? Is that something that you also want for yourself? because I can't make you want what I want. I have to be clear about what I want. And then I have to give you the option. I have to allow you to say yes or no, because you cannot hold someone accountable for something they never promised you. You cannot hold someone accountable for something that they never said they would be for you. I can only hold you accountable for the agreements that we came to. So you have to give him the opportunity to say, yeah, I want that too. And I don't want it for you. I want it for myself. Right? So kill the fairy tale that you create of these people. Allow yourself to accept the reality of who they are. And if their words are not matching what they actually do, that's their fruit. Accept the fruit when you see it. I don't have to talk myself out of it. I don't have to rationalize it. And this is how you know when you are making, when someone has exceeded the potential, right? Or you're giving them too much benefit of the doubt. When you see that you are constantly making excuses for someone, when you see that you are constantly making excuses for why they disappoint you, that's when you know that they are not living up to the potential. When you are constantly justifying their behavior, constantly finding, well, I mean, you know, he did have a hard week. You know, that's why he didn't talk to me this week. You know, he's stressed right now, and that's why he acted that way. How many more excuses do we have? Because we all have bad days. We all have hard times. We all stressed out about something. At some point, this person has to deliver on what it is that they said they would be for you. So the more excuses you find yourself making for people, not just in my relationship, my romantic relationship, but your friendships, your family. How many more excuses do I give this person before I accept that this pattern is who they are? This pattern is who they are. Okay? All right, you guys. How did y'all enjoy our Wednesday night session? We're probably going to move to Mondays. I don't know when, but we're going to move to Mondays. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got something from it. I hope I was able to speak to some of the issues that you guys are struggling with. We will be live again next week. Yes, because I need to get some rest. You see, my voice is trying to go out. So like I don't know what's happening right now. But January 13th, if you're in Houston or not in Houston, you will be able to see me in action with my Daily Fix family. We're having our New Year's gala. New Year's is my favorite holiday, so we are going to show out. It's the year 2024 is the year of ascension, and I'm going to break that down on the night of the gala about what that means. And so I'm going to post the link to that as soon as I get off this call. I'm going to post the link to the gala. I'm going to post the link to the workbook so that you guys can order workbooks. I only have 25 of them, so once they're gone, they're gone. Join the Daily Fix, okay? thedailyfix.co. Get your free 7-day membership, and you can check us out, okay? And yeah, if you had fun, if you enjoyed this, I may post it tonight so that y'all can rewatch it, but I'm gonna take it down in the morning. Okay, happy Thanksgiving to you guys too. All right, my Daily Fix family, I'm gonna see y'all on Friday. What clothing shop? Oh, Confidence Couture. Yes, we also have Confidence Couture. Mary, you are just my designated assistant at this point. Can we have some hearts for Mary? Because she knows I am forgetful and I'm always in the moment. And so, yes, okay. I will repost this live, all right? And y'all will have access to it tonight, and I'm going to take it down in the morning. I will see my Daily Fix family for our Q&A on Friday. The rest of you guys, I will see you next week. Y'all have a wonderful night and sleep well, okay? Bye.